What's up, friends? It's Full and welcome back to another tier change video. But today, instead of taking a look at this, we're going to be taking a look at Smogon's new way of showcasing information. So last month, right here, this was their final tier change thing for 3 months, because they've been doing it monthly or even like every 2 weeks. It was cool, but it really changed up the meta. Like, the most recent tier that got hit was like ZU, got like 100 mons. Look at this. Disgusting. So they're only doing it every 3 months now, and they're going to be doing a monthly like newsletter of the mons that are getting like more usage and all that, so you can get the information without having to have all this change that's happening. So let's take a look at that new thing. And that is going to be the Sword and Shield tier trends. So I guess I'll be titling these videos tier trends because it's somewhat different. But yeah, as you see right here, they have like On the Rise, Drop the Ball, and I'm going to be talking about each individual mon and their usage. So this is definitely not as comprehensive as their thing they used to do every single month with the tier changes and the usage stats, because that was like 30 or 20 or something mons all showcased. This kind of just showcases the mons that are getting used more inside their respective tier, like the biggest offender. So before we go inside of the thumbnail material, which is going to be Buzzwole, let's talk about On the Rise. So, first thing, none of this is going to impact tiering. So if a mon is not used that much, they're not going to get dropped down inside of this particular image. Today, Torkoal actually got dropped down to PU, which I'm very worried about, but that is not going to be a part of these things. So if a mon's not used that much, they're not going to get dropped down inside of this thing, maybe inside of like a different post. So be sure to follow Smogon on Twitter for the updates. Alright, so On the Rise first, we have Skarmory. Kind of makes sense. I don't know why it hasn't been getting used. It has Sturdy, it has Body Press, Brave Bird, Whirlwind, both forms of hazards, really good typing. Like, I understand just Corviknight's cool as a defogger, but this thing has the lead and the defog along with it. So definitely makes sense why this thing's getting usage. Minshao, pretty sure that thing was actually inside of NU for a bit, but then it got chucked inside of RU, so I'm glad it's settling its way inside of RU. I don't play too much of that, but it makes sense. That thing lost high jump kick, so now it can run full close combat, U-turn, regenerator, kind of just like Lil Cup, but the bigger version. And then NU, we have Talonflame. So this is actually kind of funny. Talonflame at the moment is PU. It's okay there, but I've been watching a lot of NU content, like from Pokein and another dude, I'm not going to try to remember his name, but they do a lot of NU content, and I've been seeing so many Talonflames in there as the like bulky defog set, which is really cool. So I'm glad to see it getting some usage. Like, it makes sense because it has heavy duty boots now. I think this is another one of those cases of the metagame inside the lower tier. PU is a lot more centralized on maybe knockoffs, or maybe there's just mons there that really wall this thing. Like Sandaconda, pretty big wall. At least inside of like NU, there's like I'm pretty sure there are 2 broken fighting types right now, being Beware and Pangoro. Yeah, both of those mons are getting suspect tested right now, so obviously they have to be pretty good. Maybe this mon was a counter, I don't know. If not, I'm just glad to see it getting usage. So we have yeah, then this is actually showcasing the change on this. So this is On the Rise, and this is On the Rise with some numbers to it. So that's pretty cool. Let's continue with that. Cinderace is getting more usage. Like, I think people are finally starting to realize that even with all these new mons, the thing is still broken. Like, it's not as broken as like Battle Spot Singles Cinderace, but it's still extremely annoying. So its usage rose up from like 18-ish to 24, which is kind of crazy, since, oh man, I can't wait for like 2 more months from now when we're actually going to be able to see like the full comprehensive list, since I can only imagine. It's probably going to be like Lando, and Old Spectre is getting suspect tested and all that kind of stuff, so it's going to be a very different plane. We have Scizor chilling inside of UU. Makes sense, that thing was OU for a little bit, but I think it found a good place inside of UU. Dual Wing Beach, I guess, it's just a Scizor. And this is probably one of the most drastic changes inside of usage that I have ever seen. So as you all know, or most of you probably know, Zacian Crown was actually fully banned to Anything Goes. The first mon inside of the entire tier that was banned. Like, of course, there's like Arena Trapper, Well, there's a few abilities and shit, like Moody, that aren't allowed inside of Ubers and the Dynamax, but the first Mon, instead of the gimmick, is going to be Zacian Crown. And since that Mon was banned, people were like, oh man, we have no breaker. But no, people have been finding this Mon to be almost as destructive, if not more destructive, than the other one, in a different way. It has access to an actual item, so it can do cool stuff like a scarf set. I saw like muscle band, some weird shit. It's a really cool Mon, and when I did my Ubers video a couple days ago, it's not going to be up by now, but I ran into so many of these Mons. But look at that. Less than 1% all the way to 10%. So going from 60-ish% to 13th in Ubers. That's pretty crazy since there are some insane Ubers Mons out there, like, well, I'm not going to name all of them, but like the Calyrex forms, the Tornadus. Like, both of those are really strong Mons, and I'm pretty sure they both outspeed this Mon, so it obviously has to have some pretty cool gimmicks to be able to thrive inside of a metagame with those big threats to it. Alright, now let's take a look at the drops. So as you saw by the thumbnail, yes, we have poor Buzzwole ascending to the afterlife, since he's not doing too hot right now. Now the reason for that, well, just look at him. Only 4%, pretty sure he was way higher. But yeah, he dropped the ball recently, as Smogon says it right here, and that's due to Urshifu getting fully banned. He's not inside the tier anymore, and since Buzzwole was like the hard counter to that Mon, along with like Tapu Fini, well actually, yeah, Buzzwole was like the wall to Urshifu. It's still good, don't get me wrong, I just don't personally think it has the tools to survive inside of this metagame, being a really top tier OU threat. It could be used, but there are like Moltres and like so many flying types, future sights getting flown everywhere. It has normal to stealth rocks, so, well, I think heavy duty boots was usually the set. Doesn't matter. This Mon has dropped down. Might make a video just to showcase he's still good, but he's definitely not inside of his prime anymore, so rest in peace, Buzzwole, you will be missed. Entei inside of RU, it's kind of scary to think that Entei, with those kind of stats and Sacred Fire, E-Speed, and all that kind of shit, is inside of RU, but again, the meta got totally messed up. So I have no real opinion on Entei. I know he's a strong Mon, but I don't play too much RU, so glad he's getting some usage. And then we have Pinchurkin, which is getting dropped down inside of PU a little bit. Now this makes sense. I have not seen him enough personally. I think the hype kind of wore off when a bunch of Mons totally walled electric train teams. Like when the metagame first was like evolving and this thing came down, and like Electric Surge, you know, Rising Voltage was everywhere, there were like Jolteons and Manectrics just firing stuff off. But then you can have like Special Defense Sandaconda, or basically just any kind of ground type. There's so much priority, it's just not, like, it's still good, but I'm not going to be seeing it as much. And also it probably rose up inside of usage a little bit because Alolan Raichu came down for a little bit, which I'm pretty sure that thing's gone now. If not, people are really sleeping. Yeah, so that is going to be PU, and then we have dropped the ball with the gaining or losing usage and all that kind of stuff. So Clefable, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. So Clefable's actually at 6 now, which at least it's not like number 1, but it was at number 4, now it's number 6. It's still a top tier Mon, absolutely, but it's not like as much of a pivotal threat. Again, it was a really good Urshifu counter. There are a bunch of real strong threats out there, and of course it's still really good. Like a boosting Spectre, maybe a specially defensive Clef could come in there and try to deal with that thing if it's like unaware. It has access to Stealth Rocks. It's just the overall like queen of OU. Like we have the king of OU being Lando, and then we have the queen of OU being Magearna and probably Clefable along with them. So they're kind of mashed together as the broken fairies. Yeah, but its stats, it's still looking pretty good. 18th is nothing to scoff at. 18% of the games roughly. That's a pretty good chance of running into this monster. And we have RU. Like, Crobat, I'm pretty sure it's NU right now. But I guess he's getting used instead of RU a little bit. Or maybe he got banned. Whatever, I don't play those tiers, my least played tiers. But I know he's good. I always thought of that Mon as a real good wall due to his typing, having Roost, Defog, U-Turn, Brave Bird. Really bulky, but now it has heavy duty boots, so I have no reason to believe it's going to be bad this generation. Inside the lower tiers, of course, since it's still kind of, well, it's a Crobat. But anyways, it dropped down to 15th inside of usage, but I still think it's a threat. especially since I'm pretty sure it's NU. Pretty sure. Yeah, because I remember them both getting dropped down instead of PU, because there were Golbat and Crobat inside the same tier, so he's probably NU. If not, he got rose up. And then finally, we have the Quillfish. Sorry. What's actually funny is I've struggled on that thing multiple times when recording these videos, because I always forget his name. I always call it like Pinchurkin, or like Pukumuku, or some spiky ball thing. But no, Quillfish has dropped down instead of usage instead of PU. Again, another spike setter that I have not seen too much inside the tier. Like, that is a very significant drop. Like, over here inside the Crobat, it's like 4th to 15th. This is 14th to 59th. So definitely not getting used as much. It has Intimidate, it's pretty bulky, has access to Aqua Jet, Toxic Spikes, Normal Spikes. That's pretty much it. It's a good mon, don't get me wrong. I will definitely continue using it since I like using it on some bulkier teams, but again, it's not a breaker, and Toxic Spikes are kind of weird since there's so many Rapid Spinners inside the tier, and Defoggers, especially since a bunch of ZU-mons drop down and there's a bunch of really good ones there. And I think Eldergoss is also inside of ZU now, so yeah, whatever. But I think that's going to wrap it up for this tier trends for February. I'll definitely be keeping on the lookout for this, just like you should be keeping on the lookout for my videos. But please comment down below if you want me to continue doing these. I don't really get too much reception on if, you know, some series do well. It's not really going to be a series, but it's just going to be kind of commentating over this new thing that they're doing. So I'll try to give my critique on these things, I guess. But with that being said, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Keep on the lookout for my videos.